Disclaimer. My first 2 Spongebob videos had bad editing, but the script and audio was fine, so I decided to re-edit it and completely remake Season 3, for reasons I'll explain in the video itself. My Season 1 video did quite well, and I enjoyed making it, so I decided to do it again with Season 2. 10. Squidville. Squidward moves to a town of other squid like him, and everything is perfect. Or is it? This episode is on the list for Squidward's character development and the moral perfection being boring. Not much more to say here, other than it's a great episode. 9. Squid on Strike. Squidward and Spongebob decide to go on strike, but Spongebob doesn't understand how to go on strike. This episode is really funny because how good foils Spongebob and Squidward are to each other. 8. Krusty Love. When Mr. Krabs starts dating Mr. Puff, he has to fight between his love for money and his love for Miss Puff. I really like this episode because it shows Mr. Krabs' love for money challenged, which doesn't happen often, especially after Season 2. 7. Frankendude. A giant magical pencil falls into the ocean and SpongeBob draws himself with it, but Doodlebob turns out to be evil. The people who haven't seen this episode, you might think that what the heck is the plot, but it makes sense in the actual episode. Anyway, this episode is a masterpiece because of how quotable and funny this episode is, and because Doodlebob is a very good character. 6. Christmas Who. Sandy tells SpongeBob about Christmas, which makes SpongeBob tell the rest of Bikini Bottom and get them to celebrate Christmas for the first time ever. Except for Squidward, who doesn't want to celebrate. Meanwhile, Patrick decorates for Christmas. For the first double length episode, this is really amazing for being funny and having the Christmas spirit, which makes it an essential watch each Christmas. The only thing that keeps it worse than the next 5 is that the ending is a bit rushed and could have been done better. 5. Say Your Mouth. SpongeBob and Patrick read a word written on a dumpster which they think is fancy talk, but later find out it's a bad word that they can't hold in. This episode is an example to show SpongeBob is more than a generic kids product, because as a kid who thought they were actually making whale noises, most of the comedy didn't get, but now I'm older, this episode is really funny. 4. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3. SpongeBob and Patrick are supposed to look after the superheroes' case while they're away, but they unfreeze supervillain Man Ray, who they try to teach to be good. This episode is both really funny and introduces Man Ray, who's one of my favourite recurring characters. 3. SpongeBob, Sandy and the Worm. The Alaskan bollworm eats SpongeBob's house, Sandy's tail and property of other Bikini Bottom citizens, so Sandy tries to fight it to get her tail back, while SpongeBob follows her to try and change her mind, while the rest of the town fish push Bikini Bottom somewhere else. The length of that plot description should show how epic this plot is, as well as that the comedy balances with the intense main plot very well. 2. Graveyard Shift. Mr. Krabs makes the Krusty Krab open 24 hours a day during the night. During the night shift, Squidward makes a scary story to tell to SpongeBob that might end up being true. This episode is really memorable and funny. I don't need to say much more than that, and I will rather speak more about the obvious number 1. But first, honourable mentions are Dying for Pie, Life for Crime, The Secret Box, and Big Pink User. Number 1, Band Geeks. To impress William, Squidward gets together a band to play at the Bubble Bowl. Pretty much everyone who knows what episodes are in each season guessed this, because this might be my favourite TV episode ever. The comedy, story, characters, location and memorability are all done almost perfectly. I know it's a boring opinion. This episode deserved its sweet victory. In conclusion, although Season 1 is better overall, these 10 episodes are better than the 10 last season, and I felt bad that I had to have Dying for Pie as an honourable mention. Hope you enjoyed. The end.